I heard of a lady who called her boss one day from home and she started yelling, "You wicked boss, you cheat me, you do this, you do that, you don't pay me my money." And she said so many things. You know, when someone is drunk and you just keep rambling, insulting, disrespecting your boss on the phone. I'll leave it to your imagination. What do you think happened to that lady? Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Tolu Akinyemi, and on this channel I share things, thoughts that would help women to rise above limiting beliefs, change their perception about themselves, understand different life lessons that they can apply in their lives on a daily basis. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And if this is not your first time, you've listened to me before, thank you for coming back again. It's a privilege to have some minutes in your space. Thank you so much. So I shared about a lady who called her boss and was just shouting, she was just ranting on the phone in a very disrespectful way. And that's what I'm going to be addressing today: how to express displeasure without ruining your life. You know, we live in a world where it's just conflict just happens because we are different people from different backgrounds, different personalities, and we see life through different lenses. The lenses of our environment, the lenses of our personality. We see life through different lenses. So there's no way you will not have misunderstandings at work, with your significant other, with your children, anywhere you have two people, especially women. You know what I'm talking about. We always, capitalize on things. There's always something that is going on, and that's where communication comes in. Effective communication is a two-way street, where I say something to you and you understand what I've said. If you understand it, that means you can convey what I just said to you the way you understand. If what I thought in my heart, or what the intent of what I was expressing to you, if it's exactly the same thing you said, then I can say we've had an effective communication. Is a two-way street. I tell you something, you understand it, you can repeat it back to me, and I can say, yes, that is exactly what I meant. We live in a world where there will always be consequences for your actions. For that lady, for instance, when I heard what happened, I was just like, this outburst is as a result of bottled up emotions, anger, resentment. That is, things have happened over and over and over again, subtle things here and there, and it's been left unaddressed. It just keeps going. So it's like you bottle. That's one mistake that a lot of us make, including myself. We bottle things up so much, and when we get to a point and we are triggered, you just explode. Bam! And it's like everybody thinks you're crazy. Everybody thinks there's a loose knot in your brain, and you end up being the bad guy, even if over time the things they have done to you have been unfair and unjust. But your actions, because whatever it is you say when you explode, it will come out as disrespectful. Your tone will not be professional. Especially in a work environment. That's why we're having this conversation, so you don't end up ruining beautiful relationships, ruining your professional career, ruining things that are important to you because of this aspect of our lives where we, just express our displeasure. And that is what we'll be talking about. So at the slightest provocation, you can explode. And that's why it's important that you pay attention. When you are angry or when something has happened, you don't have to speak immediately. You can give yourself some time, between an event and when you actually act. There's a small gap in between how you think, how you interpret what has just happened. So you can decide to take your time. Have you noticed that if you're at work and someone just does something nasty and you just want to send an email because you're angry, if you type that email and send it, take some time and read it. The emotion that person or that you used to convey that message, to type it, one can tell the state of mind that you are. So it's important that things that can be recorded, that can be referenced, especially at the workplace, you don't just express yourself when you are angry. Take some time so that you are cool. Whatever it is you are trying to communicate, you're able to communicate it properly. For instance, someone who calls the boss like that, Those calls are recorded. You hear things like, oh yeah, you've reached so and so. Calls are recorded for training purposes, etc. So something like that can be referenced. They can dig it out and it can implicate you. So it's very important. Things that can be recorded, things that can be referenced, emails, try as much as possible to be as calm as possible when you are sharing something or expressing any feedback or anything like that. It is very, 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 very important. And also, it is better to ask for a one-on-one instead of just picking up the phone and expressing yourself. You know, there are some people that just, it's how things are immediately that they express it. If you're like that, you also need to watch it. And if you're like me, that takes some time to process things, try as much as possible that whatever it is you're processing does not start affecting your identity. It does not start defining who you are. And that kind of conversation probably will be in another video, because things can happen and you start seeing yourself in light of what has happened instead of separating yourself from the issue, separating your who from the do or whatever it is that has happened. So I've said avoid typing or expressing yourself. Ask for one-on-one so that you're able to express yourself. Now, if you're asking for a one-on-one, it's important that you don't go ahead to play blame games. I've come to realize that in the world that we live in, we blame people a lot. And I'm not surprised, because in the beginning, even Adam blamed Eve. Because when God said, oh, have you eaten the fruit that I asked you not to eat? He said, oh, it is the woman you gave me. He blamed it on somebody else. So I'm not surprised. The world that we live in, everybody is just trying to save themselves, especially at the workplace. You just want to point fingers. Who is responsible? Who is to blame? Who should have done this? Who should have done that? So we live in a world where we blame. And what happens is, when you try to talk to someone, express yourself, if you come with an accusatory tone, the person becomes defensive. If you come with a tone that you are blaming the person becomes defensive, and you will never be able to have a good communication flow that way. So it's important that if you're coming, try to watch your tone, try to say what the issue is, how it has affected you or how it has made you feel. So you're using the word, I felt this way, it came across to me as this, I saw it like this. You're saying things like that. So the other person does not start feeling like you are blaming me for this. And when things like that happen, be ready for feedback. Like I said earlier, we see things through our own lenses of our experiences, our personality, our upbringing. We see things through different lenses. So if the other person is able to also communicate their angle, you will see things from a totally different perspective. The person could be at fault, really, and all things being equal, if things go well, if the person is really receptive to it, the person is able to maybe apologize or see your perspective to things, but it's going to be a two-way street. So you have to be ready to take feedback as well. If you have constructive feedback, if you have solutions, offer it. Maybe going forward, we can do this so that it can help us to, try better, or help us to work more as a team. You have to be willing to listen to the other person, because it determines how the relationship will go on after that time. And lastly, if this thing is happening at the workplace, you have to be conscious of the environment that you are in. If it's a place that is healthy, it will take feedback. But if it's a place that is unhealthy, you would know when things are right, you will know when things are not really right, you would know. If it's a place that is unhealthy, people might deliberately misinterpret what you're saying. Can you believe she said this? Can you believe she said that? Can you imagine? So he's calling us this, she's calling us that. Be careful of the environment you find yourself. Understand it and know, let me just say, pick your battles. Pick your battles, because sometimes some things are not worth it, sometimes it's worth it. But if you're going to express your displeasure, you have to take these things into cognizance. Make sure that you are calm enough. You are not just yelling or passing a message across when things can be recorded or referenced. Ensure that you are calm enough if you are going to pass any information through those channels, and be ready to listen to other person as well. Ask for one-on-one, listen to the other person's perspective on things, and be ready to just go with an open mind. I hope that this helps you as you go on your journey in life. Thank you for staying till the end. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Till I see you again. Bye for now.